So recently I've been mood reading a lot, and especially in the month of May with Escape the Readathon, I felt the need to search for books that I already had in my Kindle. I buy a lot of ebooks, but I feel that because they are in a device, it's so easy to completely forget about them. And yeah, I noticed that I have no idea what's inside my Kindle. I'm a complete sucker for those Kindle deals where books are reduced to 99 cents or $1.99. I get the BookPop Daily Deals email, and I think I buy from their selection at least once a week. So for a casual video, I thought it could be fun to go through my Kindle purchases. I think I will show my 5 oldest purchases that I haven't read and my 5 most recent purchases. And hopefully if you've read any of these books, you can share your thoughts about them, and maybe I will be motivated to prioritize some of these books that have been completely forgotten. This is Michelle's Melancholia, where we read books to fear and shed a tear, and today we'll find out what's lurking in my Kindle. So I'm going to browse my Kindle Cloud library on my desktop because I think it's the easiest way. I'm going to share my screen with you. I hope nothing too embarrassing comes up. I am going to skip over the whole Kindle Unlimited library because I just swap those out all the time depending on what tempts me at the moment. And I also tend to buy some science non-fiction books. I think I'm also going to skip over those. I mean, I'll mention them, but I won't go into too much detail. Let's stick to fiction for today. Okay, so here is my library. I am going to sort by purchase order, so the older books will come up first. Reverse. Okay, so from the first row, the first 3 I have read. I purchased The Divine Comedy. I'm never going to read that. I don't think I will. If you think it's worth it, please let me know, but I'm not really interested. Then I bought Beloved by Toni Morrison, and I started reading these as soon as I bought it, but I unfortunately DNF'd it. I still want to read it, don't get me wrong, and I was reading it and I was in awe of how impactful of a book it is, but I was just not in the right mind at that time for that book. So I will be going back to these later. So I think these will be 1 and 2. Then I got 3 science nonfiction books. I have not read any of them. I also have 50 masterpieces of gothic fiction. I think I was looking for one short story in particular, so I'm also not going to count it. So book number 3 is The House Next Door by Tom Coleman. I've no idea what this is about or why I bought it, so let's investigate. So it's a short story. It is only 20 pages. And it's actually free on Kindle. It's not Kindle Unlimited, it's just free on Kindle. I purchased this on the 20th of August of 2020. So it says it's from a collection called From Horrors Next Door, and they are short, mysterious, psychological, suspenseful, and horror stories. So this one in particular, it's about an old grumpy man that grows roses in his garden, and he has a dark secret hidden deep inside his house. So again, I have no idea why I looked for this, but it sounds like it could be good. The 4th book is Before You Sleep by Adam Neville. This also seems to be free on Kindle, and I bought it the same day. So maybe I found a list of free horror things. I don't know. But this is 3 short stories. So I've never read Adam Neville before, and this is only 65 pages. So maybe this could potentially be a good starting point. For the first story, it says, in the big white house on the hill, angels are said to appear. For the second story, when the children left the house, their toys remained. And for the 3rd story, a confused and vengeful presence occupies the home of a first-time buyer. So there's 3 stories, and the description gives a little hint for each one. So it seems like they all revolve around houses. And finally, my 5th oldest ebook in my Kindle is The Tatter Demon Omnibus by Steve Vernon. I remember seeing these highly recommended somewhere, but I can't remember where. Again, this was in 2020. I bought this September 25th of 2020. And I just remember that the person who recommended it said it was terrifying. And this takes place in 1691. And it's about a town where a woman is thought to be a witch, so they try to kill her, but they are not able to do it. And I think what happens is that each of the men who try to kill her starts dying. So I didn't even remember what the premise was for this, but it actually sounds like it could be pretty awesome. So now to look at my 5 most recent purchases, I will reverse the order. And as I said, I'm going to skip all of Kindle Unlimited. So my most recent purchase was Collecting Death by Ron Ripley. And this also appears to be free, so I'm pretty sure I knew that from a BookBob email. And this was on the 16th of May. So it says, exhausted from an academic conference, mild-mannered historian Victor Daniels wants nothing more than to return to his loving wife. But when he finally arrives home, he finds only tragedy and heartbreak. His wife has been brutally murdered, and the only clue is a blood-soaked stuffed toy with a sinister gleam in its eye. So it seems to be like a haunted object kind of story. And from what I understand, this man then teams up with a paranormal investigator to find out what's up with this seemingly cursed toy. So yeah, I didn't remember, but now that I'm reading the description again, I can totally see why I decided to buy this book, even though it was free, but I bought it. And this is the first in a series called the Haunted Collection series. So if it's good, I could probably continue with that, and that could be fun. Then I have Whiskey Sour. This is for a reading project, so I'm not going to include it. So book number 2 would be The Silent Bride by Shalini Boland. And I'm pretty sure I chose this one as part of the Kindle First Reads program. So basically, if you have Prime, every month you get to pick a new release for free. And this is about a couple that are engaged, and they are kind of like the dream couple, like the perfect couple. But basically what happens is that on the day of the wedding, she walks down the aisle, and the man she sees waiting for her at the altar is not her fiancé. However, everyone in the wedding, including that man, insists that he is, in fact, the man she was planning to marry. So it seems like it will be a psychological thriller kind of situation. Then I have The Brain Drips Yellow. This is also for a reading project. So let's say that book number 3 is Where They Lie, a thriller by Joe Hart. And I don't know why I bought this, because when I click on the page, it says that it is on Kindle Unlimited. So no idea what happened there, but it's not in my borrows. I actually own this, so I'll include it. And this is about a rich vlogger influencer woman, and she's traveling with her husband and her 3 stepchildren when her plane falls down, and she is the only survivor. More interestingly, she insists that the person responsible for bringing the plane down was her stepdaughter. And we follow a child protective services agent who doesn't believe that this is true. I don't know, I feel like this one sounds kind of bad. So if anyone has read it, please let me know if it's worth it. Otherwise, I have no idea what Past Michelle was thinking when she bought this. Book number 4 is Best Buddies by Jordan Bach. This is also on Kindle Unlimited, but now that I'm remembering, I think I bought them for free as part of an offer. Where was I? Yeah, I think what happened is that there was an offer where they were giving the book away for free. So I decided to buy it instead of borrowing on Kindle Unlimited, because you can also borrow 10 at a time. So this way I could just have it all the time. And this is about a little boy who has an imaginary friend. And his mother discovers that they can ask questions to this friend and they will actually give them helpful answers. Like they have knowledge that gives them some kind of advantage, like at school, or the mother is gambling and she keeps winning based on what the imaginary friend says. But they soon realize that for every bit of information this imaginary friend gives them, there is a price to pay, and they are not so happy about it anymore. And finally, the 5th book is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I don't think I have to give much explanation about this one because it is very popular, and I decided to buy it on ebook because I'm interested in reading it, but there's a really long queue in my local library to borrow it, and even then, if you did borrow it, the queue is so long that you can never extend the loan period, and I just get too stressed when that happens because I feel like I have to rush. So I decided to just buy the ebook. And finally, just for fun, I will scroll down my whole Kindle library. As I said, hope nothing too embarrassing comes up. So if you see anything interesting, let me know in the comments. Here we go. After scrolling through the whole thing, I feel like I actually don't have as much as I thought, but hopefully I can still get to most of these pretty soon. If you have a Kindle or any e-reader for that matter, it would be super fun if you also did this, and maybe you can post in the comments what are your oldest and your newest purchases that you haven't read, and maybe we'll rediscover a book that you were actually super excited about but then forgot. And I guess that's all. I will see you in my next video. Bye!